Okay, and the other thing we're going to talk about this week is enlarging images, which goes really well with composition because if you're working on a large project and you want to start with a thumbnail sketch where you work out all of the compositional elements before you jump into your drawing, and say you have a very well thought out small image that's either like a thumbnail or a photo that you're referencing. These are some options for how you can enlarge that image. So there's a few methods of enlarging an image, and we'll talk about all three of them, and the one that we're going to practice is the grid because the other ones are pretty self-explanatory. The print transfer is you edit your image to the desired size. You can go to, it says Kinko's, which doesn't exist anymore. It's FedEx, Kinko's, or you could go to UPS, wherever they have a plotter printer. It's just the large scale printer. You can probably do this at Staples as well. But it's nice and wide, prints up to 36 inches wide, and then as long as you'd like, because it's just like a huge roll, so you can print out as many feet as you want. You can apply soft graphite or charcoal to the back of that image. You tape the image to whatever surface you're using and then trace it. Peel off your paper to reveal the transferred image. You can also buy carbon transfer paper, and then you place your printout on top and trace. So the pros for this method are that it's very easy. The cons are that the size is limited to the printer capability, and it does not work well on a textured surface. Projection. All you do here is make sure your projector is aligned correctly to the wall, display image, and trace onto desired surface. Wall or paper or whatever it is you're using. The pros of this method are that it is great for large scale, makes it quick and easy. The cons are it needs a lot of space to set up, must be dark enough to see the projection. Also, you need a projector, which is fairly expensive, depending on which one you get. The cheap ones just don't work super well, unless it's extremely dark, which isn't great for drawing, but just something to consider. So the method we're going to use is a grid enlargement. And the way you do this is you create a grid on top of a small image, and either a thumbnail image or a photo or printout or whatever it is you're using. And then you create a larger grid in the same ratio on the desired surface. This is assuming you all understand ratios. The pros, you can do this anywhere with no extra materials, no printout, no projector needed. The cons being it's more laborious than the other transfer methods. So to scale up or down proportionally, you create grids that are the same ratio. For example, if you want your image to be 8 by 10 inches, or if your image is 8 by 10 inches and you want to enlarge it to 16 by 20, we know this will be proportional because each measurement has a ratio of 4 to 5. So you can do this in any ratio. And if you don't know how to do ratios, then you're going to need to look that up on your own. But I think you all should understand at least the basics of that at this point. Here is an image of an artist using a grid to draw from life. Very old-timey image, right? So they set up a grid to look through, probably with like string or wire or whatever. And then they're drawing this figure from observation on a grid that's been drawn onto paper, canvas, whatever. You can also use the grid to adjust an image to the desired linear perspective. We'll get to linear perspective a little bit later on. Just a note about this image, this is not an anatomically accurate image of a figure lying down. It's an accurate image of like a photo that was printed and then that surface was shifted into 1-point perspective in this example. And here's some other ways you can distort the image. Same thing, right? This isn't anatomically correct. this is distorting a two-dimensional image. You can stretch heads, squish heads. Anything, doesn't have to be a head. In this example, it's a head.